There's one test that decides whether your trading account survives or gets wiped out in week 1. Most traders skip it completely. And if you've ever wondered why a strategy that looked bulletproof in backtesting fell apart the moment real money was on the line, this is probably why. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the exact test I run on every single strategy before it touches a prop firm challenge or a live account, and why skipping it is basically gambling with extra graphs. If you haven't watched the previous video on Walk-Forward Optimization yet, that's Gate 2 in this series, and it directly feeds into what we're covering today. Link is in the description, worth watching first. It's called Monte Carlo testing, and if you've never heard of it, don't worry, neither had most of the traders currently watching their funded accounts get wiped. Here's the one-sentence version. Instead of trusting one single backtest result, you stress test your strategy 1,000 times under randomized conditions to see if it actually survives. Think about that for a second. One backtest is one version of history. Monte Carlo gives you 1,000 versions, and then you find out which one you actually built your strategy on. Here's why this matters so much for prop firm traders specifically. You pass the challenge, you get funded, then within the first few weeks, the account gets wiped. Everyone blames bad luck, a bad run of trades, market conditions. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If your strategy can only survive the exact sequence of trades it saw in the backtest, it was never actually robust. It just got lucky once. And here's what that looks like in real numbers. Say your backtest shows a maximum drawdown of 6%. Looks fine on paper. Passes the prop firm's 8% drawdown limit with room to spare. But when you run Monte Carlo, when you shuffle those trades and run 1,000 alternate versions of the same history, you might find that in 30% of simulations, the drawdown hits 11%. That strategy doesn't have a 6% drawdown. It has a 6% drawdown in one specific sequence of trades. Change the order slightly, which markets do every single day, and you're breaching the prop firm limit before you've even settled in. That is exactly what Monte Carlo catches. So here's how it actually works. Picture your strategy's full backtest, every trade, win or loss, in the order it happened. Monte Carlo testing shuffles that deck, randomizes the order, adds a bit of noise to entries and exits, sometimes skips trades entirely to simulate slippage or missed fills. Then it runs that shuffled version, not once, not 1,000 times, and then you ask one simple question. In how many of those 1,000 alternate realities does the strategy still survive? If the answer is north of 70% or you've got something that's actually robust, not just lucky. If it's down around 40%, congratulations, you've built a coin flip with extra graphs. Here's the thing, a smooth equity curve and a robust strategy are not the same thing. One of them is just art. The Monte Carlo pass rate is what separates the two. Monte Carlo testing gets you most of the way there. But there's one test most traders skip entirely, even the ones who already know about Monte Carlo. Live demo testing. Not because you don't trust your own analysis, because your live broker environment is never identical to your backtesting environment. Different spread, different slippage, different execution speed. And here's the part nobody talks about. Some strategies pass Monte Carlo with flying colors, north of 80% survival rate, and then quietly fall apart in live demo. Not because the edge isn't real, but because the backtest was modeled on spread and execution conditions that don't match your actual broker. The strategy was robust in theory, just not in your specific trading environment. Live demo is where you find that out, before it costs you a challenge fee. My rule is simple. Minimum 30 trades on a live demo account under real broker conditions before a strategy goes anywhere near a prop firm challenge or real capital. 30 trades is roughly the minimum sample size you need before performance statistics actually start meaning something. What am I looking for in those 30 trades? Profit factor holding above 1.0. Drawdown staying within the range the backtest predicted. and no signs of execution issues, entries and exits firing where they should. If all three hold up over 30 trades, the strategy earns the right to go live. Skip this step and you're not funding a strategy. You're funding a hypothesis. The test most traders skip before going live isn't one test. It's two. Monte Carlo simulation to prove the strategy survives 1,000 alternate versions of its own history. And live demo testing to prove it survives contact with a real broker. Skip either one and you're not really testing a strategy. You're testing your luck. And prop firms, they're counting on most traders skipping both. If you want more of this, process over hype, real testing over wishful thinking, hit subscribe. Every week I share practical breakdowns of what actually holds up in live algo trading. No magic robots, just the process. Everything I just walked through, the exact Monte Carlo thresholds, the live demo rules, the full validation sequence, it's all written up in the AlgoTrader's blueprint. Link in the description. Free EA validation checklist, also in the description, covers all 5 gates in one page. Next video, normalization. Why timing matters and why running it too early can actually destroy a perfectly good EA. Stay beyond backtests. See you in the next one.